Hello, my dear kiddies. Welcome back to yet another video class. So let's start today's session. Yes, we will be beginning with our topics for the week. Let's see the topics for the week. So here comes the topics for the week, that is parallel and perpendicular lines, triangles and cubes and cuboids from Unit 1B Geometry. Yes, we have already started a fresh unit, that is Unit 1B Geometry. So, as we know, the term geometry means it's related to earth measurements. So, on behalf of that, we will be learning more about lines, shapes, and all in this chapter. Since we have started this concept in our online class, we can start with a quick review in our recorded session. Here comes your quick review part. Let's start with the very first definition. Yes, it's about geometry. What is this geometry? Let's understand. Geometry is the branch of mathematics concerned with the properties and relations of points, lines, surfaces, solids, and higher dimensional analogues. So geometry, it is a branch of mathematics which give much importance or concern about the properties and relations of points, lines, surfaces, solid shapes, and higher dimensional analogues. So everything, whatever the shapes or whatever things, it starts from a point. From a point, we are drawing a line. After drawing lines, when we join all those lines, we are getting some shapes. So everything starts from a point. That's why here also I started with the point itself. So now I hope you get an idea about what is geometry or what are things we can learn from geometry, or geometry have concerns in which all areas. So this is about geometry. Now we need to know where this word comes or what this word means. The word geometry is a combination of two words, geo and metron, where geo means earth and metron means measurement. So geometry is a combination of two words, geo and metron. And geo means it is earth and metron means measurement. So the word geometry together means earth measurement. Whatever things in this earth we can measure in one way or another way, with one instrument or another instrument, we can measure everything, right? So that is what actually meant by geometry. So if somebody asks you, what is this geometry? Yeah, you are learning the unit geometry. Now let me know what the word geometry means. Then what are the major concepts or what are the major concerns of this brand geometry? So you can easily say them. Without understanding what the word means, what are the main topics that geometry covers, without knowing all this, I think it's not quite better to learn more about the subject. So just start learning from the basic itself. Okay, so I hope now you know what geometry is and what are the major concerns of geometry. Now let's start with our topics. Okay, now we are starting with line. Line is defined as a mark connecting two points. I already mentioned that everything starts from a point. So when you place 2 points anywhere you just place 2 points, and when you connect those 2 points, you will be getting a line. So you can define line as a mark connecting 2 points. Next is about parallel lines. Yes, just before we understand what is a line, now there exist two different lines. Let's understand parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines in a plane which do not meet. That is, two straight lines in a plane that do not intersect at any point are said to be parallel. So parallel lines means it's very simple, they do not meet each. They will be continuing. It will be moving on with a same distance apart. So it will be moving on and it won't intersect at any point. Then you can say it is a parallel line. So What is a parallel line? From this, can you shorten and say how can we describe or how can we define a parallel line? So parallel line is a line that are always the same distance apart. That also you can say. A very short and sweet definition which is given in your vocabulary part of your textbook. So what a parallel line, you can say in this way also, or else you can say the lines that are always the same distance apart. Now let's understand what is a perpendicular line. Yes, perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at a right angle. So perpendicular lines means just the opposite of this parallel line. Parallel lines that do not intersect at any point, but perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at a right angle. It intersects somewhere and it will be a right angle. Right angle means 90 degree. So I hope now you're clear about parallel and perpendicular lines, right? Now let's understand about a triangle. What a triangle is. A triangle is a shape or a part of two-dimensional space. So you know, triangle is a shape which has three sides as well as three angles. On behalf of that, it got the name like triangle. Triangle, triangle. So a triangle is a shape or a part of two-dimensional space. So triangle is an example for a 2D shape. It has three straight sides and three vertices. The three angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. So whatever the triangle be, when you add up all the three angles, you will be getting a total of 180 degrees. Next, it is a polygon with least number of sides. So you know about polygons, and triangle is a basic polygon, or it is the simplest polygon with least number of sides. So this is a triangle. So it has three straight sides, three vertices, or three edges, and all the angles summing up gives you a total 180 degree. This is about triangle. Now let's understand about a 2D shape. What is this, a 2D shape? A 2D shape is a shape with two dimensions, such as width and height. So 2D shape means two-dimensional shapes, which have only two dimensions. That is two measurements. Dimension means measurements. So those shapes which have only two dimensions or measurements, we can say it as a 2D shape. And those two dimensions are width and height. Now let's understand a 3D shape. If a 2D shape has two dimensions, then what about a 3D shape? Obviously, it is a shape with three dimensions, such as width, height, and depth. So it's very easy to understand, and it's very easy to differentiate a 2D shape and a 3D shape. For a 2D shape, it has only two dimensions, such as width and height. A 3D shape is a shape with three dimensions, such as width, height, and depth. Now let's start about cuboid, because in our topics for the week, we have to learn about cuboid and cube. So let's start with cuboid. Cuboid is a 3D shape with six rectangular faces. So cuboid is an example for a 3D shape, which has three dimensions such as width, height, and depth. Also, one more thing they have added, it has like six rectangular faces. So cuboid is a 3D shape with six rectangular faces. Now let me introduce cuboid. So this is the shape. This is a 3D shape of cuboid. You can see six rectangular faces. Now let's understand about cube. Cube can be defined as a cuboid with six square faces, all equal in size. So cube, you can be connected cube with cuboid. How? Cuboid is a 3D shape with six rectangular faces, then cube is a 3D shape with six square faces. Since it's square faces, all these sides are equal. Now, let's have a look on a cube. This is how a cube looks. See? All the sides are in the shape of like square. Now, from this cube, you can get a cuboid. How? When you enlarge this cube, it will be becoming larger and it resembles like this one. So the square, when you enlarge square, it will become a rectangle. That's why it's defined like this. Cube can be defined as a cuboid with 6 square faces and all equal in size. Now let's understand about net. What is net? You have heard about different types of net, like a fishing net, internet, etc. Like now you're going to learn a net in mathematics. Let's see what is this. Net means in which a 2D shape can be folded up into 3D shapes. So you can convert a 2D shape into 3D shape. How or with help of what? Yes, if you have a net, it's very easy for you to convert a 2D shape into a 3D shape. So that's the purpose of net in mathematics. Okay. So I hope now you understand what is net. Or if I ask you, can you convert a 2D shape into 3D shape? Your answer should be yes. And how? Then you can say using a net, we can able to convert a 2D shape into 3D shape. So this is about a quick review regarding the topics for the week, lines, triangles, cubes, and cuboids. I hope you understand, and this quick review session helps you to recall what you have already learned in your online classes. Now, let's move on to the next session where you can learn about parallel and perpendicular lines. We have already learned about parallel and perpendicular. The word parallel and perpendicular are connected with lines, and these two parallel and perpendicular are different types of lines. Now let me give you an example how the parallel and perpendicular lines looks. Let's start with a parallel line. See, this is a parallel line. AB is one line and CD is another line. These two lines are moving. It is moving continuously, but you can see it remains the constant distance apart. So it won't intersect at any point. It will be going in the same way how long it can move. Okay. Now let's understand about perpendicular. If this is parallel, then how come the perpendicular looks like? Yes, this is how a perpendicular line looks like. Here also you can see two different lines, and the peculiarities of lines over here is these two lines intersect each other, and it meets a point over here and makes an angle here as 90 degree. So whenever two lines are called perpendicular, the point they intersect each other you will be getting an angle called right angle or 90 degree. So I hope now it's more clear about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Now let's move on to the next part. It's about types of triangles. In a quick review session, we have learned about triangles. That is what a triangle is, what is the sum of a triangle, how many angles, how many sides, how many vertices are there for a triangle. That all things we discussed in the quick review. Now we need to know the types of triangles. Yes, there exist different types of triangles. Let's understand one by one. If you are differentiating the triangles by sides, then you will be getting three different triangles as equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, and scalene triangle. This is the differentiation on the basis of sides. Equilateral, from the word equilateral itself, it's clear what actually the triangle is. Equilateral means equal. So equilateral triangle has three equal sides. We know that the triangle have three sides, and if all the three sides of a triangle seems to be same or equal, then you can name it as equilateral triangle. Now let's understand about isosceles triangle. Yes, it is a triangle which has two equal sides. So a triangle with two equal sides, then you can say it as isosceles triangle. If so, what is about a scalene triangle? Scalene triangle is a triangle with no equal sides, which means all the three sides of a triangle having three different measurements. So we have learned about three different types of triangles on behalf of the sides. Equilateral means all the three sides are equal. Isosceles means all the two sides are equal. And scale and triangle means it doesn't have any equal sides. All the three sides are of three different measurements. Now let's understand by angles. If you are differentiating the triangle with the help of angles, there also you will be getting three different types of triangles. That is acute triangle, right triangle, and obtuse triangle. So acute triangle means has three angles and greater than 90 degree. And right angle means has one angle, 90 degree. Obtuse means has one angle less than 90 degree. So this is how it looks like. So what is acute angle? Let's understand. Yes, acute angle means have three angles and which is greater than 90 degree. Has a right angle means in that triangle, one angle will be equal to 90 degree. Then obtuse angle means has one angle less than 90 degree. See, right now you have to concentrate on this differentiation. Currently, we are dealing with different types of triangles on behalf of sides. We are not concentrating by angles, but we will be learning and we will be understanding more about this in the upcoming classes. Right now, just concentrate over this. Okay. So we had a quick review session. We understand what a parallel and perpendicular line. Then we discussed about types of triangles. Now we will be moving to the application level of questions. Let's understand the very first question. Yes, here comes the first question. Determine whether each pair of lines is parallel or perpendicular. So here you can see the picture where you can see different sets of lines. From that you have to pick out which all are parallel and which all are perpendicular. Okay, so shall we start doing the answer part? Yes. Look at the first figure. Which type of line is this? Is this a parallel or a perpendicular line? When we look at this figure, we can see it's two lines moving apart. They're not intersecting, so it will be a parallel line. Now, what about the second one? Here we can see two lines that it intersect at one point, so it is perpendicular. Now, what about the third one? Here also you can see two lines and it meets at this point, so it intersected, so it is a perpendicular one. The fourth one, you can see two different lines moving and it doesn't intersect anywhere, so it is a parallel line. The fifth one, here also we can see two different lines moving apart with same distance, so it doesn't intersect, which means it is a parallel line. And finally, the sixth one, you can see those two lines meet at one point where it is intersected at this one, so we will be getting a right angle over here, so it is a perpendicular line. So this is about our first question, to determine whether the given lines are parallel or perpendicular. I hope this is clear for you. Now let's move on to the Now let's start with the very next question. Here comes the second one. Mary arranged some cubes on a table. Below are four drawings of cubes on a table from different sides. Two of the pictures show Mary's arrangement, but from different views. Which are the pictures of Mary's cubes? And this is the pictorial representation regarding the above mentioned question. So these are the arrangements of some cubes on her table. Below are four drawings of cubes on a table from different sides. So these are the four drawings of the cubes on a table from different sides. Two of the pictures shows Mary's arrangement, but from different views. So out of this four, two of the pictures show Mary's arrangement, but from different views. So we have to pick out those two pictures of Mary's cubes. Now let's start with the first one. If we are choosing this as the arrangement, first one, then we have to find the different view of this arrangement. So we can fix on this and let's analyze the rest of the three and find out of this three which one is the different view of A. Now just concentrate on this B and now just compare the A and B. Do you think that the B is a different view of A? Do you think? See how it's arranged: a purple, like a blue, purple, orange, a red, a green, orange, and on the top of red you can see yellow. But here, just see the like green is placed in a different way. You won't get a different view of A like this. It is something entirely different. Now, so this is not applicable. Now let's see about C shape. Do you think this is a different view of A? Different view means if you are taking a picture in different angles, the picture will looks like same, but the angle, there is a little bit change in the angle. So only that one you have to think. There will be no change in the placing of cubes and all. How the cubes will be placed in A, it will be exactly looks like the arrangement in different view. Only the position, like the view, the angle will be changed. So do you think C is a different view of A? It is arranged in the sense like a knot, but we don't get arrangements are okay, but this is not the different view of A part. Now let's have a look on D. So it is something just arranged it in the same way and placed it in the same manner, and we can see it is a different view of A. Yes, so here the answer is A and D. See here, you don't think much more. Nowadays, you people are using different gadgets. So the mobile phones, yeah, obviously you are using. So you used to take selfies. Sometimes you take a selfie, and when you have a look on that selfie, you think that if I flip this picture, it will be quite better. It looks much more pretty. Like sometimes you might be having a thought like that, right? Whenever you take a selfie, sometimes you will be happy with that original one. Sometimes you may feel that if I flip this one, this original one, then the flipped version will be quite better. So that is actual one applying here also. This is the original one, and the different view is a flipped one. See, now we are seeing in this side, in the D part, we are just seeing the opposite section. See? So that's the simple idea what they are applying here to. I think with the mobile matter, I hope you people understand much more better. So this is about the second question, very simple, nothing is there. To find out from the given picture, to find out the different views of the given cubes. Now let's move on to the third one. Here comes the third question. Which of these nets would make a closed cube? So here they have given you different nets. So this is known as nets. I already mentioned net as a thing which can able to convert a 2D shape into a 3D shape. Now you can see this is looks like a 2D thing. It's not a three-dimensional one. You can see it's a 2D one. Now we are going to convert this into a 3D shape like a cube. Now the question is very simple. These are the nets. Here you can see different types of nets. Now what you have to find is you have to find out of this 9 nets, which all nets can make a closed figure. Suppose you are getting the nets like this. When you fold it up each, which all nets gives you a cube? See, in this question, this is not much important. Like these kind of questions won't come for exam. Sometimes they will be given and ask to you to find which cube or which shape it will be creating from this net. So those are simple. It doesn't have much importance, but you need to understand it because this is a major concept. When you move on to higher grades, you will be studying much more about this concept. There you have lots of things to understand about it. Here we are just learning the basics of net. So you can do this even as an activity. Just you can take a paper, you can draw like this, then wherever you have this division, at that point you can just fold it. So you can fold or wherever you see this line, then you just make it like arrange the folded portion, then just understand whether you are getting a cube or not, a closed cube. If you are getting a closed cube, yes, this one is an like answer. If you're not getting a closed cube, you can say this net won't gives a closed cube, so you can avoid it. So sometimes by looking at the net, we couldn't able to find out whether it gives or not. So you can do it as an activity and find out. So right now, by looking also, we can find out which all net gives a closed cube. So here, which all net gives the closed cube means the nets that will make a closed cube are B, this one, C, this one, E, this one, and H, this one. So here, you can make all these nets using a paper. Take a paper, draw like these, and draw the divisions, and at the mark of division, just fold it. Every division, just fold it and try to make it as a closed cube. If you can make a closed cube, then it is a net which can create a cube. If you can't able to make it as a closed cube, then it won't be. So here, you can make a closed cube using the nets B, C, E, and H. So try to do this. Whenever you get a leisure time or when you feel bored, nothing to do, then you can do this one. It will be quite interesting. So it's an activity, not an important question. It's just an activity to understand how we can convert a 2D shape to 3D shape with the help of a net. Now, here comes a follow-up for you. Which of these 6 rectangles can be put together to make the net of a cuboid? Now you know what a cuboid is. It's a 3D shape, but all the 6 faces are rectangular in shape. So from this, here you can see a lot of shades, right? So from this net, you have to choose 6 rectangles. Out of this, you have to pick out 6 rectangles. And after picking all those 6 rectangles, when you put together, you should get a net of cuboid. That is that particular net, that 6 rectangles, when you put together as a net, when you folded it, you should get a cuboid. So you from this have a look on all these rectangles and pick out which all will gives you, or which 6 rectangles can be put together to make a net of cuboid. This is also you can do as an activity. Just take a piece of paper, cut it into these shapes, then find out which all shape. Then just do it as a puzzle one. Just make it arrangements. Okay, if I pick A, D, F, E, I, and G, and if I am placing it, can I be able to make it as a cuboid? If you can't make it as a cuboid, then leave it. Then choose other set like that. Okay, so it's like a puzzle type. Here they have given you many rectangles. Out of this, you have to choose 6 rectangles which can be put together to make a net of cuboid. Okay, so do this. In this session, you don't have much thing to learn. Like when you come to the net portion, it is just to understand the concept. You're not learning anything. You're just doing some activities to understand how the net works, how we can convert a 2D shape to 3D shape. So I hope you understand what we discussed today. Try to do the follow-up. It is an activity. We don't need to do any calculations over here. We don't need to apply any formula. It's just like a puzzle one. Do it. Find out which all 6 rectangles can be put together to make the net of a cuboid. So here comes the end of the video session. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day all.